Let's make our own poof pillow. I have some chenille yarn here. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start with the slip knot. So we're gonna have about an 18-inch tail. To start, we start with a slip knot and we're gonna drop it back behind your thumb, wrap it around your 2 fingers, pull the yarn up between your 2 fingers, slip them out as you grab that loop and pull tight. And that gives you a nice loop. You can adjust your loop by pulling on one side or the other and get it to about that size. I can fit 3 fingers in there nicely. You're going to lay your yarn out. This is the working yarn attached to the ball. I have my tail going the other direction. Lay this loop down on top of the yarn, pull up through. So lay down, pull up through, and you're just starting that nice little chain. Lay it down, pull it up, lay it down, pull it up through. So there you have a nice chain. This loop, can you see it? It looks out of place. It's too big, so let's go back. There's one thing I don't like, and that is when the polyfill starts showing coming through the pillow. So I like to get my loops a little bit tighter on this pillow versus doing a chunky blanket. If you haven't watched my chunky blanket video, go check it out. I have start to finish. There's 2 videos on the start to finish. One has a texture, the other one is just a basic start to finish. And then I have hacks, a video on how to fix your chunky blanket so you don't have to tear it apart if you've missed a loop. And then I have a specific one on how to finish your chunky blanket. So go check those out if you'd like to make a chunky blanket. Today we're making a poof pillow, which looks like this, or a really nice bigger one like this. So we're going to chain stitch. I do it for about 20. If you want a bigger pillow, keep going. You can even make them into a floor size. I don't know that I have that much patience to make a floor one just yet. I honestly don't have time right now. I'm preparing for craft shows, holiday markets, winter markets. So I haven't been counting, so I'll teach you how to count your chain stitch if you've lost count. Do you see these top, I call them humps, but you see how that chain has made these top humps? You're gonna count those. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. So I do have 20. I'm gonna do a couple more because I want a little bit bigger. All right, so now you are going to take your end, the loop you just ended on, and you're going to bring it around and lay it on top of your beginning stitch. The tail is still out here right now. You're going to take this loop, lay it on the beginning stitch. Right here's your tail. Lay this out so it's flat. I'm going to move my ball of yarn over here. And what you're going to do is take your working yarn, which is attached to your ball of yarn, and you're going to connect these 2 together. So I'm just coming up from behind, And now, do you remember those top humps I was telling you about when counting? You're going to come up from behind on each one of those. So find those and come up. Behind each of those and through, I guess I should say through those. Keep your loops consistent, keep them a little bit tighter so your polyfill doesn't start popping through, or whatever you fill your pillow with. I choose to use polyfill. And you're just making a circle of loops. You can tuck this tail part inside so you don't accidentally pick it up. I have done that before. Accidentally picked it up and started using it and then run out of yarn and be like, what the heck did I do? But you do need it at the end. You need that tail at the end. So there is one time around, and you are just simply now going to start your second round and go through each of the loops that you made. Oh gosh, did I miss one? Oh, we're gonna see if we can fix that real quick. I guess I didn't miss one. It was tucked back behind. So you're just going to pull up from behind on each loop that you had made. We're on our second round. And we're going to go around another time as we lay flat here on the table. I do just pull every once in a while to make sure I am seeing all my loops. And we're gonna go one more time around. How did I know I'm around? Here's my tail, which is my beginning point. So this is lap 3. How do I also know that? You can count 1, 2, the beginning, and then 1, 2, and this is 3. So we're gonna keep going around here. We're back almost to the start. And now I'm just going to kind of fold it in half. And then I'm just gonna flip it over. So then it will start wanting to be more of a circle, but going up. And then we can actually start pulling it a little bit tighter. My tail is still out here. I'm gonna keep adding loops on this until I get to 10 or 12 rows. So I will come back and not bore you with me making loops here as we go back and forth and around. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I will do my best to check back and get those answered for you. This is a workshop we are teaching at the Hive. And if you want to change colors while you're making your poof pillow, you certainly can. If you go check out my blanket making video, you will see how to change colors. And we just actually light it up on fire, and I call it smelding because you're going to light up one end of your yarn on fire, and you're going to then push it together with the yarn, the other yarn that you're wanting to work with, and hold it together for a few seconds to weld it and smother that fire out. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I want a solid hot pink pillow, and I'll check back here in a second. So I've neared the end. I probably have enough to go around again, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to, my pillow is as big as I think I'd like it. This is when I want to tell you to inspect your pillow. And so you're going to look for like bigger holes, gaps. I have one right there, if you can see it. And I'm gonna show you real quick how to fix it. Of course, you want to do this before you add polyfill because polyfill is very flammable, and it's gonna even be more difficult to fix when there is any kind of fill in there. But to fix this, I am going to run it an extra piece of yarn. So this is just off the end here. I am going to run it through one side of the hole and then on the other side of the hole. Just like that, yeah. I promise you, when you get it together, you're not going to even notice. Let's see, you could even go this way so it's not Actually, that's a better way to do it. So I'm gonna show you how to fix your hole. You see the yarn is running this way, so we're going to drop it on one side of the hole, cover up the hole, and drop it on the other side. And pull it through. Now here you can tie it together, but I kind of like to just fuse them together. So I just cut out what I don't need there on that yarn that I'm working with to fix it. Okay, I apparently got a lighter that's not gonna work. So we're going to light one side up and then just put it out with the other side and let it fuse together. And it never happened. It is not, it's right there on the inside, but never happened on the outside. All right. So let's cinch up the beginning side, and we just run this through loops that you had made, just that bottom chain stitch. So I'm just running it through, kind of cinching it up as we go. Coming from the outside in. This yarn is very durable, but it will break if you pull too tight on it. This is another time I inspect my pillow, see if there's any holes that need to be taken care of before I finish it off. So now this is the end of the tail. I just tuck it back in and then go to the inside of your pillow. Grab an inside loop and pull it through so you have a loop, and then pull your tail end through that loop you just created, and that secures the pillow. Just pull it down tight. And sometimes I will bring it back up through. If there was like an extra little hole or something, and take it down the next one if I'm discovering holes. Otherwise, I just leave the remainder of the tail in the pillow. And now you're ready to fill. See, there is a loop that I just pulled out since I've been messing with it. So when we seal it up, we just need to make sure that all of the loops are showing. And this is another thing, before you finish off your pillow and before you stuff it, decide what side you like. So this is one side texture, but if you would flip it around, oops, there, that's where the fix is. This is the other textured side. And if you liked this side, then you just push your tail back through. But I like this side, it kind of has the basket weave. So now I'm just gonna fill it. My husband thought I was making a hat. It doesn't take too much polyfill, so if you want a firmer if you want a firmer pillow, you can put more in it. If you want a really softer pillow, put less in it. All right, so here is our pillow. I think I'm good there. All right, so now to finish it off, you're going to pick up the one that has the tail on it that you're working on, and go through it. We don't need all this yarn, so I'm going to cut a smidge off. Again, I figure about 18 inches, and you're still gonna have leftovers because you're gonna draw this all up together. So I just pick up a few at a time. So I have this one, I have this one, I'm just gonna pick up another one. So I have 3 on my finger. And we're gonna pull that yarn all the way through. And somehow there is a big, I'm gonna take that out and fix that. Possibly, perhaps, if I can find. So that was a missed loop. That just needed to go right through there. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna pull this all the way through. Just gonna pick up a couple. Pick up a couple, pull all the way through. Pick up a couple, pull all the way through. Make sure it didn't drop any, and there it is, I dropped it. So I'm just gonna start cinching it up as I go. Cinch it up. The reason I do a couple at a time is because sometimes the yarn gets hung up, or I just went in that one backwards because I turned my hand. The reason I do a couple at a time is so I make sure I do grab all the loops. And it just pulls nicer. I'm not having to do any tugging. And just cinch it up. All right. Now to finish this off, I just go through, pick up another loop there, make a loop, and pull all of my tail end through and pull it down. You can stuff the tail in your pillow. I just give it a little trim there and stuff it in there. And there is your Poof pillow.